If you love playing MTGO, please make sure you check out my sponsors in the description below. Mana Traders, I've got a sweet discount code. Just head there and you can start playing whatever deck you want.
Hey everyone, man from Total MTG here, and it's the first Deck Tech of the week, Mondays videos. So just in case you're new to us on Total MTG, I do videos every week, Mondays and Thursdays, and on the occasional Saturday as well. So what's the brew today? It's the next in the Control series for Guilds of Ravnica, and today we're going 3 colours, and this deck is super strong, super competitive. I absolutely love it. It is Grixis Control. So the colours of blue, black and red, they offer us some amazing cards in the current standard. This is just an absolute, I love this deck. I've got to say, so if I get overexcited for it, it's because just showing how much I love the brew. Anyway, without further ado, let's get on. We are looking at the cards. So the way this deck is working is we've got a hell of a lot more removal than counter spells. We'll be disrupting our opponent's hands and basically just destroying the path for our amazing creatures to come down and win the game. But you do have a counter spell in the main, 2 of Essence Scatter, counter target creature spell. There is a few more counter spells in the sideboard, but Essence Scatter has to be in the main because there's a lot of creatures around at the moment. Creature meta format, Essence Scatter is in there as a 2 of. Hand Disruption in Thought Erasure. Blue and a black, sorcery speed. They reveal their hand. You choose a non-land card from it. They have to discard that. And we get to surveil one, so we can look at the top card, put it in our graveyard, or leave it on top. Helps us go through our deck. This is an absolute amazing uncommon. It has grown in favour of me. Definitely like a few cards in this set hat where I didn't think they were that good to start with. And then you basically just see the power level that they are in standard. And Thought Erasure is great for seeing what your opponent's doing, getting rid of maybe a really important card, and then obviously looking at your deck as well. For 2 mana, that is absolutely brilliant. So now we're going to go on card draw and our way to go through the deck. We do have a risk factor in there. No, we have 2 risk factors in the main. There's also one in the side. Target opponent may have risk factor, deal 4 damage to them. Early game, they're always going to take the 4 damage. They're not going to give you the cards. But later on, when maybe their life total is obviously getting a little bit lower, you tend to pay 3 to draw 3 cards. This also has jump start as well, so we'll be able to cast it from the graveyard. So the 2 in there is a potential 4 of risk factor in the main. Brilliant card. Yeah, I'm going to say it's my best card in the set. I absolutely love Risk Factor. For me now, it's the #1 card from Guilds of Ravnica. Notion Rain is there as a 3 of as well. Like I said, we're going through the card draw. This will help us surveil 2, and then we get to draw 2 cards. The surveil 2 is very important because we get to see the top 2 cards, decide whether we want those, and then we draw them. But it does deal 2 damage to you. So, you know, like the Sign in Blood effect. But Notion Rain, very good in standard, and it's a nice addition to this deck. Go through the deck as well with a 1-off Search for Azcanta in the main. You know what this does. You look at the top card, you either put it in your graveyard, or you just leave it there and then you draw it. And when it flips to the Azcanta Sunken Ruin, you get to look at the top 4 cards of your library. You reveal a non-creature card. And we do have 23 spells in this. There's only 12 creatures and we have 25 lands. So the chances of pulling something really sweet with this is pretty high. Then we go on to the removal in the deck, and we have a lot of removal. There's 11 spells I'm going to go through here, starting off with 2 Lava Coil, 4 damage to target creature, then it gets to exile it instead, which is important with a lot of graveyard matter decks at the moment, and it deals with like that turn 2 Still Leaf champion, like I say. Lava Coil is very good for this. Cast Down is in there as a 3 of as well. The stipulation of non-legendary creatures that it destroy is a bit annoying, but it's still 2 mana instant speed and will deal with, you know, it will deal with a lot of creatures in the format. One of the best removal cards where we have by playing these colours is Vraska's Contempt. Exile creature or planeswalker, and it gains us a bit of life. We can have this in there as a 3 of. It will deal with like the most, you know, the most hardest creatures for you to deal with in the format, as long as they don't have hexproof, of course. But Vraska's Contempt can deal with planeswalkers, creatures, and the added addition of gaining a little bit of life will counter set off some of your Notion Rains as well. Very nice. Vraska's Contempt is of course in there as a 3 of. The last bit of removal in there is a 3 of Ritual of Suit, 2 double black sorcery. I'm really starting to love this card. Destroy all creatures with coveted mana cost 3 or less. Now, you know, we would like maybe a Languish that might be something a bit better, something like that. But our current card in standard is Ritual of Suit, so we're going to have it in there. It's no damnation, but it's still a great card for standard format. So let's get on to our creatures now. And for the first time I'm using, I hope you're excited to see this, it's Thief of Sanity. 2/2 flying Spectre, 1 black and a blue. When it deals combat damage, you get to look at the top 3 cards of your target opponent's library, exile one of them, put it into exile, and then for as long as it remains there, you can spend and cast that with any mana for as long as it remains exiled. It's an absolutely great card. It has the evasion of flying, so it can come down early and potentially get that, get that interaction going. First time of doing this, I pulled a little lightning strike from my opponent, and that was actually the card that won me the game. So you can, even when Thief of Sanity leaves the field, those cards will still stay in exile, and you might get something really, really cool and to cast late a game. As long as they can't remove it from exile, Thief of Sanity is there to do a great job for the deck. Then we have our removal creature, which is Ravenous Chupacabra. In there as a 2/of. We got so many great creatures we can use in the Grixis colours. The removal, the counters, the card draw, everything is so good in these colours. Ravenous Chupacabra is there as a 2/of. We then get total power. Now we're going for some powerful creatures. Nicol Bolas, the Ravager, is in there as a 3/of. 4/4 flyer that can flip into a planeswalker. When it enters the battlefield, the opponent has to discard a card. So we've got a little bit, we've got Thought Erasures discarding cards. Nicol Bolas that can make them discard a card. Taking cards with Thief of Sanity. We are really depleting their hand and library with this deck. Nicol Bolas is just, when it can flip, oh my god, this can be amazing. It does cost 7 to flip it. What's good about this though, you can actually attack first and then flip it after you've already done the attack. Absolutely amazing. Nicol Bolas, the Arisen, 7 loyalty it comes in with, +2 drawing cards, -3, 10 damage to target creature or planeswalker. Put a card from the graveyard on. I think this planeswalker is very, very strong, and the loyalty it comes in with is absolutely amazing. So then we go for me, the second best card in Guilds of Ravnica, and it could be first. It was first for me to start off with, Doom Whisperer. 6/6 flying trample, paying 2 life to surveil. 3 double blacks, so the stats are actually bigger than the casting cost with this card. Look at the power we have in these creatures, guys. This deck is very, very strong. Dream Eater is there as a 2/of as well. 4/3, yeah, the body's not great, but you're getting something that can flash in, block. You get to surveil 4 as well, and then you send back a permanent as well to your opponent's hand. This card is definitely one of the cards, like I was saying, that has grown in its reputation for me. And Dream Eater, along with Doom Whisperer, Nicol Bolas, and Thief of Insanity, we've got some great flying evasion there, and probably some of the most powerful cards in Standard. So we're going to get to the land base now. I'm running a 1/of Detection Tower because I like it, just a 1/of in all my decks at the moment for those hexproof creatures. And we are Grixis, so it's going to be, we've got double blacks, we've got double blues, but we've got the mana now for it. We've got 4 of Dragon Skull Summits. We've also got 4 Drowned Catacombs as well. We've got lots of way for tap for these double manas and everything like that. We've got 4 Steam Vents and 4 Watery Graves. All tapping for double colours is absolutely amazing. And then we have our basics. We've got basic islands, mountains and swamps. And it's a 25 land in total for this deck. I flitted between 26, but 25 has been absolutely perfect so far. So before we get to the sideboard, let's have a little review of this deck, shall we? It's got power, guys. This is definitely competitive. You've got counter spells, you've got hand disruption, early plays. You want to be stopping maybe the creatures coming down and looking at your opponent's hands if you can, taking out their important cards. Lots more card draw then to fill our hand back up with Notion, Range, Search for Canters going through. The potential card draw and risk factor, if not getting that early damage in for when our creatures can come in and win the game for us. Removal, we got Removal. City will be keeping the planes clear. Ritual of Suit will clear out those early aggro creatures. The Boros aggros, the token decks. Ritual of Suit is very, very good for that. Vraska will deal with the bigger creatures and the planeswalkers. And early play also as well. We do have Lava Coil and Cast Down. We've got 11 2-mana spells, so we're going to have early play. And then obviously we've got a great curve on this deck. The creatures are going to come down. They all do stuff. Thief of Sanity is going to take cards from your opponent and you're going to get to cast something really cool, hopefully. Chupacabra is a removal spell in a creature so it can act as a blocker. This deck is really cool. We've got a Planeswalker and a creature in Nicol Bolas and lots of flying and evasion. What can I say about Grixis Control? I'm going to be playing this a lot this year. So let's take a look at the sideboard now. We have some more counter magic in there with a 2-of Disdainful Stroke. Recently come back into Standard. This will counter target spell with covered in mana cost 4 or greater. It's in there as a 2-of. We also have that extra Essence Scatter in case we want to up it, our main board to 3. And there's also a 3 of negate as well, which counters target's non-creature spell. You're playing a bit more of a controlling matchup, maybe your opponent's playing control, you can bring in your Search Canter. It then literally is a race to find your spells and everything like that, and Search Canter is, you know, is good in there as a 2 of them to help you with that. More removal we have, Playcraft, you know, removal on a body. They have to sack a creature or a planeswalker, so this is really, really good. Playing, you know, against decks that have minimal creatures or just creatures that are really powerful, or maybe playing, you know, more planeswalkers. Playcrafter can come in and for 3 mana, even if it has to sack itself, is still very strong. We then have a 1-off Eldest Reborn that works very well with the deck, you know, sacking creatures, making your opponent discard, and then we get something from the graveyard as well. Eldest Reborn is a nice addition. Obviously, enchantments are a little bit harder to remove. An extra risk factor in there in case we want to just bring that in. Damaged card draw, you know what that does. I've said how amazing that card is. And then I'm trying a 2 of Unmoored Ego in the sideboard as well. I feel like this could be quite good coming in, dealing with something that maybe we will be struggling with, naming it. And it's good because sometimes you get to see it from the graveyard as well. So it's got its uses, this card. I don't really know how powerful it'll be. They get to draw cards in it. We've had a card like this in Standard before. But I feel like it's a good addition and works very good on theme with this deck. Last 2 cards in the sideboard are a couple of Planeswalkers, and the first one starting off as Ral Izzet Viceroy. We got lots of, you know, non-creature spells now. It's going to work very well with this. Can deal damage with the -3, or you can look at the top 2 cards. Another way to go through our deck. And then if we can get to the emblem, well, it's just well and good. The last one I'm bringing back is Angrath. I haven't played with Angrath for absolutely ages. It's in the Grixis colours. It works on theme with the deck. 4 loyalty comes in, which is a little bit low for the 5-mana Planeswalker. But has the +1 where they discard a card and lose 2 life. So that works on very well with our discard. You know, we got, you know, Thought Erasures, stuff like that. It works very well with the deck, I think. And it could be, you know, people won't be expecting a little Angrath. Maybe they'd be like happy to see it because they think it's really bad, but I personally think it's a really cool card. -3 is gain control of target creature. Until turn to turn it gains haste, and you have to sack it then if its mana cost is 3 or less. So you might get something really cool for that. And the -8, each opponent loses life equal to the number of cards in their graveyard. So as long as we're not, you know, they're not exiled the graveyard, that's probably just a win con by the time we play that as well. So guys and girls, that is today's deck tech. It's Grixis Control. I hope you like it. I love this brew. I love it. You can do so many different configurations with these colours. I'm sure people will say, oh, I love this colour, I love that colour. You know, as I always say, meet me in the comments. Everyone like each other's comments. It really does help. We've had a lot of interactions with that going on recently, and I'm so happy to see. I'll always take constructive criticism, and you know me, I always try to reply to every single comment that I get. That's one thing that I always try to do, no matter how many we get or how few. I will always be there for a little chat, because I love hearing your ideas for decks and stuff like that, as I always say. So if you are new to us, don't forget to smash that sub button. I will be doing a 5,000 sub giveaway very soon in the next few weeks. I just need to sort a few things out for the prizes and stuff like that. So when that's done, it is coming. It will be there. So the next video will be up on Thursday. You enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll see you then.